knew somehow that he was perfect for this part was Robert Redford. How did he first get involved?
This was a story that he had been wanting to make for a while, a story he'd been wanting to tell. He had read the New York article by David Crane in 2003, and I think it was just a character that he felt, he needed to play. It is, a quintessential Robert Redford character, if ever there was one, and that's certainly what I thought when I read the article, which wasn't until he sent it to me. But he sent it to me and I read it.
Now, you had worked with him on Pete's Dragon.
Well, this was before that even. He had seen the film I made called Ink and Body Saints at Sundance in 2013.
Which I loved.
And he, I didn't meet him there. I saw him at Sundance, but I had never met him. But I think he liked it, and he liked, the fact that it had been supported by the labs, the writing labs. And so one day I just got an email with this article attached and a note asking if I'd be interested in meeting with Robert Redford to talk about adapting it. So I read it, of course, and I said yes, of course. And so I went and met with him, and we, I don't really remember much about that meeting other than that he was sitting like 2 feet from me the whole time. And I really remember the visual of it, but I don't really remember that much about what we talked about. I know we talked about, I'm from Dallas, and he's from San Marcos, so we talked about Texas. And I'm sure we talked about Forrest Tucker at some point. But the next day I just started writing it. And the next day I also started writing Pete's Dragon, and because I had met with Disney earlier that morning to talk about to pitch Pete's Dragon to them. So it was kind of like a very momentous morning in my life that I'm just now recovering from in a good way. But Pete's Dragon got ready to go first, and so I was meeting with Bob to talk about the latest draft of the Old Man Gun. It was the second draft, and I mentioned that I was heading out to New Zealand soon to start shooting or start prep, but that there was a role that I would love for him to take a look at. And thankfully he said yes to that. And it was such a luxury to get a chance to work with him on that film, because then when I got done, when I finished it and got back to the US, I just threw every draft of the Old Man and Gun away and started over from scratch, because all of a sudden I knew how to write for him in a way I had before. Getting to work with him, on that film, I became friends with him. Prior to that we were collaborators, but we exchanged phone calls now and then, and I saw him once or twice. But when you're in the thick of making a movie with somebody, you really get to know them. After that, I felt I was able to really go home and write this specifically for him in a way I had before.
So a number of people have talked about how in this film they recognize that Robert Redford is a movie star. And working with him, not meeting him or collaborating with him, but when you put him in front of the camera, what happens?
He becomes a movie star. It's exceptionally magical to see that happen. When he's not on the camera, he's Bob. He's the nicest guy. He hangs out on set. He reads the New York Times in between takes. I remember one time we were shooting that jewelry store scene. That was actually the very first thing we shot, and people kind of knew that we were shooting a movie there. They knew what the movie was, and so I kept hearing people come through. So it was a functioning mall, and they were like, "I hear Robert Redford's around here somewhere." And he was like literally right there. I was holding a chair behind the New York Times. You just would never think that that's what he's doing. You'd think he'd be standing like looking out to the horizon. But he's just sitting there reading the Times. And but then you get the lights set up, you get the camera set up, and he stands up and puts the New York Times down and steps in front of the lens, and you suddenly immediately see why he is who he is.
So you're both playing around with, and he must have been aware of this from the beginning, and so were you, the iconic Redford, all the other parts that he's played, especially the singing. So how did you two discuss that, and how did you reference that?
In our very earliest conversations, we talked about how it was sort of a spiritual follow-up to those earlier classics. I'm trying to, correct me if I'm wrong, but after The Sting, he never really played like a literal outlaw again. He played...
Because Butch Cassidy was ahead of that.
Yeah,
right.
And so he had, played outlaw types after that, like guys with that mentality. He never played like a literal criminal. and so I think he saw this as a way to sort of provide a bookend to those earlier movies that had made him a star. And I looked at it as that, certainly, but also as an audience member who grew up watching his movies and who is approaching this as a fan, as well as a filmmaker, there was no way for me to avoid that legacy, that history. And so I definitely, rather than, trying to pretend it's Robert Redford playing a character, just digging into that character, I just felt it was better to lean into who he is, to lean into the archetypes that he's played before, and to let him shoulder some of the weight. Now that's not to say he's not playing a character. I mean, he really wanted to play Forrest Tucker.
Who really existed.
Who really existed. He used a Texas accent, which was great. And he really did his homework. But also, there's, you put that camera up from his face, there's no getting away from the history of who he is as a movie star.
You didn't know when you were making the movie that he was planning for it to be his last role, is that right?
No, he had mentioned it in an interview in,
writing the movie.
Well, correct, we were location scouting. So the script was pretty much done, and we were looking for locations to shoot it in, and all of a sudden my phone lights up, and I think it was November of 2016, and he had announced in an interview that this would be his last film. And instantly I'm just like, oh man, pressure is really on now. But then I just realized that is the wrong type of pressure to have when you're making a movie. It would have been improper to go about the production of this film thinking that every single thing we do is the last time Robert Redford's going to do this or that.
Change his mind, for one thing.
Well,
Never say never, which he said.
Which he said. And so I just stopped thinking about it. I completely stopped thinking about it, and the movie's better for it. But then he starts, lately he's been talking about it again, and it's impossible for me now to look at the movie or talk about it or think about it without that occupying some space in my mind. And so that certainly adds a weight that wasn't there initially.
Would you have written it differently if you knew?
I think I would have definitely, it would have been a heavier film, I think about All Is Lost a lot because I love that movie.
And that's a great performance.
It's a great performance, and that has an air of finality to it in a way that, obviously that was not meant to be his last film, but I think the tone of this movie would have probably skewed closer to that. It would have been an elegy as opposed to a celebration.
So you're glad you didn't know?
Yeah, it's really nice to not have had to worry about that while shooting the movie.
So I'm surprised that he and Sissy Spacek never did work together.
I mean, if I can take credit for one single thing in this movie, I will take credit for putting them on screen together for the first time because they're both pure in mind, and they both are so cut from the same cloth. It is shocking to me that not only have they not acted together, but they had really never even met.
She's as big a movie star in her way as he is.
They won their Academy Awards.
Most people don't think that,
yeah.
But she's won Academy Awards
the same year as him. There's a photo of the two of them on opposite sides of the photo, so I guess they just both walked off in opposite directions with their Oscars and never met. But I wrote this part for her without knowing her. I just really wanted to work with her. I wanted to see her on screen with Bob, and I felt that she could go toe-to-toe with him in the way that I wanted this character to go toe-to-toe with him. And so I wrote the part, wrote the script with her in mind, and we sent it to her, and just crossed my fingers. And then, a week or two later, I was Skyping with her, and she was really into it, and she had such amazing input into the character and into the script that she made the whole thing better. Even before she signed on, she was giving me ideas of where we could take things. And the jewelry store scene is a great example because in the script that existed in a shorter form. It ended with her and Forrest walking out together, and it was all about her just kind of picking up on the thrill of that side of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, well, that's great, and it is thrilling to steal things sometimes, but also Jewel will be a more mature person. She's the grown-up, even though she's indulging in this youthful romance with this, 16-year-old and 7-year-old body, and she should actually just wise up, realize who she is, where she is, and force him to meet her on her terms, and walk right back to the counter and make him buy it. And I was like, that is a great idea. I'm instantly going to write. I just wrote it right into the script. And when you work with actors like these, and they give you ideas like that, it's just you take them and run with them because they know a lot more than I do.
For me, my favorite moments are when the two of them are sitting across from each other in that diner flirting.
It's amazing. And by the end of shooting that sequence, they knew that scene backwards and forwards, and the final take was the wide shot where they just ran through it. And it was like getting to watch this amazing one-act play with two legendary actors. It was just for me and the career.
But you set it up interestingly as far as the camera setups. Tell me about that.
I really wanted to have that scene broken up into 3 acts. And just, there's the initial, just the getting to know you, and then there's like a lull where he starts to hint at maybe opening up to her, and then he completely opens up to her, though she doesn't necessarily believe it, but at the same time, completely sucks her in. So each one of those acts has a different language, and we never go back to the shots that we used earlier, that each one's broken up into its own set of setups. And, it was all, we were getting very, film theory about like, okay, let's use long lenses here because they don't know each other too much yet. And as they get to know each other more, we'll use wider lenses and just bring them in close. And we talked about things a lot like that, but at this point, I don't even remember it all. It was very, but then when we got to the edit, Lisa Sturgeon, my editor, just really, she followed that structure, but also just found the rhythm in the performances that was already there, but she just brought it out even further. And it was so beautiful to see what was already amazing in real life get teased into this perfectly crisp flirtation. The chemistry just like really, that was already there, just really became crystalline in the edit. And so it was really, I owe a lot to her for like really making that entire sequence click the way that it does.
Well, one of the things that's interesting about you is the way that you come up in the indie sphere. I think of you as a multitasker. You've edited, you've been the shooter, you've been the director, you've been the writer, you've helped your friends produce. It's sort of this barter system that goes around the country, and you all helped each other. And now you really know what you're doing, and it just feels like no matter where you are, you're in the studio doing Pete's Dragon, you're doing a tiny indie like Ghost Story, you're over here doing this sort of mid-level specialty film. You seem to be able to know exactly who you are and what you're doing.
Maybe it's because I just stayed in Texas and didn't move out here to go to film school. I don't know nothing against film school, of course, but like I just had a very clear idea of the type of movie I wanted without even knowing what movies I wanted to make. I wanted to make films that would satisfy me as an audience member. I go to see movies all the time. I see probably on a good week 3 or 4 in the theater a week, and I just love going to movies. And when I make a movie, I just want to make something that I would want to see. And so that is why these movies all reflect me. They all just are very representative of my personality and the things that I like. And so as wildly disparate as they may seem, they're all still very, very clear representations of my tastes, my interests, my personality, and very often, my autobiography. Every movie I make is like in some way more or less about me, which
in this movie?
I love making movies, and I'm kind of addicted to it, and I can't quit. So I definitely am not. I haven't been doing it for as long as Forrest Tucker Rob Banks, but I definitely saw a similarity.
Gotcha. Absolutely. Well, so tell me a little bit about the question of what happens when somebody tells you, check this out, or would you want to change this, or what do you think about that decision? What do you do?
Well, in the screenwriting process, I usually say, well, it's just a script, hold on, I'm still figuring it out. I kind of push it all to the side, and at a certain point, of course, you do take feedback. When you're on set, I listen to everything, but I also kind of tune it out, because I just need to have tunnel vision. I just need to be thinking about about making a movie. But that's not to say that the production of the movie isn't collaborative. They're like incredibly collaborative. I just take ideas from everybody, and as long as we're all working towards the same goal, it always feels very constructive. It's when you find that people think you're making a different movie than you are, that's when it can go astray. And luckily, I've barely ever had that. And when we do, it's just like, let's sit down and talk about what we're doing here, because we just need to really be all on the same page. And so when that's happening, my tunnel vision can include everyone around me, the actors, the technicians, the cinematographer, the production designer, the PAs, everybody is an open forum. If someone has an idea that might make the movie better, I want to hear it, as long as we all know what movie we're making. And that's a wonderful thing to have on set. And it also allows me to not feel bad when I say I can't listen right now, I need to focus on the performance. Because everyone knows, like, when the time's right, I will listen. When it gets to post-production, it's, I guess we're talking about the 3 stages of writing. You write it in the script, you write it on set, and I literally write it on set. I'm up all night writing new sides for the actors, but then you get to the post-production side, and it happens again. And again, you kind of need to stick to your guns about the movie you want to make. You also have to be open to you have to be open to how plastic film is. And it can change and it can transform and be pushed and pulled. And often I'll get to the first cut and think, from my perspective, the movie's 90% there. It just needs a little nudge to the left, a little nudge to the right. Then I'll show it to someone and they're like, man, that's a mess. And I have to understand that I have like a clear perception of where it's going, and it might not be there yet. I'm like, yeah, we just need a couple more weeks of work now, we'll figure it out. And someone else will be like, yeah, but here's a bunch of ways you can make that better. And sometimes those are accurate. Sometimes it's really useful to hear those things. Other times it's better just to take a temperature to hear someone tell you that it's a mess. And other times, someone's giving you notes for a different movie. And it's important to be able to realize, like, you know, I think the old adage is like, listen to the spirit of the note and not the note itself. And I find that's very helpful. And I went through with Pete's Dragon and made a movie that I'm immensely proud of within the studio system because the studio supported what I wanted to do. We all wanted to make the same movie. And when they gave me notes, I was happy to take them because it was all going towards the same movie. We were never trying to do two different things. We were never at odds. And this film, like a whole opening bank robbery, I want to give a shout out to everyone at Searchlight who's releasing this movie, but also they gave me that note. They were like, wouldn't it be better if it started with a bank robbery? And I was like, yep, great note. And so it's great to do that. It's great to be able to have that open mind and to not just think like, this is my movie and I need to make it exactly what I need to just stick to what's in my head and I can't let anyone else in there. It's always good to let everyone in and just make sure that you're all on the same page.
What I like about this movie is that it's quiet, it's charming, Redford is smiling, there's room for pleasure, there's room for breathing. You're not hammering us at every moment. But that's not how most movies are made right now.
I really like the idea of making cozy movies. I just like cozy things, and I like people to get along. When I go to the movies, I love to see confrontation. I love to see people just yelling at each other and pulling their hair out and just, being emotionally violent toward one another. That's a good time for movies for me. When I make a movie, it has to reflect me, and I'm an incredibly gentle person, and I don't like confrontation, and sometimes to a fault. And so this movie was a chance to really just kind of like, I was like, okay, it's a bank robbery movie. It's got certain conceits of the genre that I'll honor, but I also want to make the nicest, sweetest, coziest bank robbery movie of all time.
All right, you guys must have questions. Raise your hands. Okay, I'm going to the brunette right there.
First of all, thank you for the gift of this movie. I cannot think of a movie I've seen in 2 years that I haven't enjoyed as much as that.
Thank you.
And then I have to ask, how do you direct two legends? Because it's not like they don't know their job. And when you saw moments where there was something different you wanted, or there was a nuance you were going for that you maybe didn't see through the lens, how in the world do you look at Robert Redford or Sissy Spacek and go, hey, can you do something for me? Like, how did you find the courage to do that?
Can everyone hear that?
So
It's about how do you address changes you want from two major stars like this.
on Pete's Dragon, I was terrified. I remember going to Bob on day one, like on take 2 of the first thing we're shooting, and like, so Mr. Redford, if we could please, if you don't mind, let's do another take. Maybe this one could be faster, if that's okay with you. And then he was like, please don't call me Mr. Redford, call me Bob, which helps a lot. It really is interesting because as much as they are people who are legends, they are also showing up to work as actors. And it's important to recognize that they want to have that relationship with you. So I kind of had to set aside my starstruckness in dealing with them and just treat them as if they were working actors who are just showing up to work every day, which is what they were doing. And they appreciate that. I don't think anyone on this movie wanted to, be treated as if they were any more important than anyone else. This was like a really communal family group effort. And so, to be very specific, when there was something I needed to adjust, I would just do what I do with the actors, just go up and find the most simple and efficient way to say it, and very quietly say it, and then go back and do another take. And I remember when we were shooting the scenes with Bob and Sissy, we shot all of their scenes in sequence, which was a great gift that our assistant director gave us. And so we were in the diner, and remember, Bob and Sissy really had not met. So this was really them getting to know each other on camera. And Sissy tells the story so much better than I do, but I'll do my best. She was very excited to be acting with Robert Redford. And at one point, I had to go up to her and just whisper in her ear, like, you were playing the scene as if you're acting opposite Robert Redford and not Forrest Tucker. And I don't remember saying this, but what she told me the direction was like, just play it a little harder to get. And so apparently that's how you do it. You just go up there and say things like that. And then another interesting anecdote, to go back to Pete's Drag, this has to do with directing Bob, is that once I got used to him and directing him and calling him Bob, I remember one day I went up to him, I can't remember what the direction was, but I asked him, you know, on take 2, let's try something different. Like, here's what I would like you to do. And he said, oh, I did that in take 1, you just didn't notice. And it turns out, yeah, that night at Dailies, I looked at what he had done, and he had done exactly what I wanted, because he was a good actor, he knew what the scene needed. And I had not noticed. So that taught me 2 things. Pay more attention, but also don't necessarily trust the little tiny monitor that you have on set, because the reason Robert Redford is a movie star is because he knows how to act for the big screen. And it's best to see him on the big screen, and he does so much that you can't pick up on when you're looking at a screen the size of your phone.
So is it true that Forrest himself, the real guy that this is all written about, wanted Clint Eastwood to play him?
That's what David Grant told me, the journalist who wrote the article. And he said that if Forrest had written a manuscript about his life called The Can Opener, and he had apparently sent it to Clint Eastwood, hoping that Clint would play him in the movie, and never heard back. I think just didn't understand the idea of unsolicited submissions.
Any other questions? Right here.
Hi. My question is, after you like meet and talk to Mr. Redford so many times, did you remember if he has told you what quality in you or your directing style he appreciated the most that made him decide to work with you on this project?
Your style that you liked.
He liked how collaborative it was. He liked how focused on characters I was. And then he liked, here's how he puts it, he likes how perverse I am when it comes to narrative choices. And I think what he means by that is, I mean, he said, yeah, I know exactly what he means by that, is that if I have an opportunity to go left, I like to go right. And I think you see that in the movie, in that, you know, it's a heist film where you really kind of only see one bank robbery, and it kind of just takes these meandering detours towards the normal plot points that a crime film might have. And he appreciates that. He likes things that are unpredictable, and he likes it when stories surprise you. And
that makes sense given the kinds of movies he
exactly.
has made.
And he likes the spirit of them. I think he sees in the stuff that I do that sort of like energetic spirit that he, you know, is one of the reasons why he creates Sundance, so storytellers would have a chance to make films like that. And I like movies that feel like raw and ragged and unpredictable. And I don't know if this is raw or ragged, but definitely, and there's some aspects to it that
Polish.
it's a little polished, but we tried to put some, you know, rough edges on there. Try to, you know, we cut it on. We didn't cut on film, but I like the idea that if we had, you'd see some splice tape in there.
Well, you did go with Super 16 though.
We did. We shot on Super 16 millimeter, shot out to Kodak. And I chose that stock. I mean, I knew I wanted to shoot on film. That was always a given. There was never any conversation about whether this would be digital film or not. It was not going to be.
Have you ever shot digital?
I do. I love for the right films. I mean, Pete's Dragon was digital, and Ghost Story was digital. And both of those needed to be digital for various reasons, and it's a great format. But this movie needed to be on film. And I thought about 35 initially, but then, you know, 35 millimeter stocks now look really nice. And there's a crisp clarity to them that I wanted to avoid with this movie. I wanted this movie to be just a little bit more beat up in a way. And I wanted it to feel more like an independent film. And so, and one of the other things that Super 16 stocks have also progressed over the years to the point where Super 16 now looks like 35 millimeter did back in the 60s and 70s. So it just made sense to use that format both to evoke that era of filmmaking, but also to, again, make the film a little rough around the edges. We shot in Super 16 and then cropped to 235 so that we had as little resolution on screen as possible while still originating on film. And I just like the idea that, you know, we're going anti-resolution with this movie. And in an 8K world, it's like, I don't know what this amounts to when you crop that, but it's definitely like lowers your expectations.
You're a rebel.
And there's beauty in that. There's so much beauty in that. And just every moment, be aware that this is a movie whose texture is like baked in. You just know what you're looking at when you see this movie.
We have to go now. The time is over.
Thank you all so much for
Thank
coming.
you.